Hey, it's Maximo and welcome to Maximo's Travels. In this video, you'll find out why I didn't walk the Nakasendo Trail and Joe did on a solo hike. This video will give you a practical guide on what to see at the Nakasendo Trail, where to go, how to get there by public transport, which direction you should walk in, and how long you should allow for the walk. It'll give you an idea of the weather conditions in late March, as well as how difficult the hike actually is. And it'll also provide you a view of the magical landscapes along the Nakasendo Way. All told from the perspective of the person that actually walked the trail, which is Jo. So join her on this not to be missed video. Hey, this is Maximo. I'm coming to you from the creative studio, or as Joe would like to call it, the man cave. Now this is a slightly unusual format for a video, and I'd have no greater pleasure than saying how wonderful the walk on the Nakasendo Trail was, but I'm afraid I can't do that. A lot of time and effort and meticulous planning went into the walk. Unfortunately, I woke up the morning of the walk with quite a bad earache. I had been battling a sinus flare-up for a couple of weeks in the trip, and I just wasn't well enough to go on a strenuous 8-kilometre walk. This was hugely disappointing for me, and it also meant that Jo had to do the walk by herself, which she did do quite successfully. So in this video, what I'll do is give you all the important information and logistics on how to do the Nakasendo walk. I'll show you some video that Jo took on her walk and refer you to her YouTube channel, Travel and Create, for a half-an-hour video on the Nakasendo walk.
Critical information about our destination.
The Nakasendo Way was one of 5 major routes used during the Edo period and was used by samurai, merchants and travellers. It connected Edo, which is now Tokyo, with Kyoto. It's a 534-kilometre long trail, or 330 miles long, that traverses the mountainous interior of Japan, with its 69 post towns along the way. The post towns were used by travellers to eat, sleep and rest, and we will be going to 2 of these post towns, Magome and Tsumago, probably the 2 best preserved towns on the Nakasendo Way. And the trail between these 2 towns is the most popular walked path on the Nakasendo Way. It's essential to plan your transport in advance for this hike, as trains and buses are not frequent in the area. Some people choose to do this hike starting from Nagoya, but we actually started from Nakatsugawa, the biggest major town in the area. I'll hand a commentary over to Jo now.
So most people start off this trip at Nakatsugawa train station, which the Tourist Information Centre is right next door to it, and get the bus to take you to the start of the walk at Magome Juku. Nakatsugawa is on the train line between Nagoya and Matsumoto. This is the map of the walking route. However, it takes you a little bit longer than 2 hours, like Google Maps suggests, so do keep that in mind. Most people would say it takes about 4 hours with rest stops and the up and down hills. It passes the Magome Pass, which is the prefecture border, and that is also the high point. So you can see if you're coming from Magome, it's a much shorter walk of uphill than if you were coming from the other direction. If you are finishing your walk in Tsumago, like I did, you'll want to be getting the bus to the train station at Nagiso. However, this was where the end of my trip got quite interesting. Do watch to the end to see how I managed to get to Nagiso station. Hint, it was not the bus. So, let the adventure begin. We stayed in Nakatsugawa for 2 nights getting the train from Nagoya, with plans to walk the day after we got there. As soon as we arrived at Nakatsugawa, we stopped at the visitor centre right by the train station to get all the information we needed. The bus stops for the next day are right outside, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and the lady in the centre will tell you which one to stop at. If you've arrived with luggage, there's a convenient ramp right down into the visitor centre. This is the lady behind the desk who was very helpful and gave us some maps and the bus timetable and some hints and tips about everything. This also doubles as the bus waiting area. So the next day I arrived at the bus quite early and it certainly wasn't full, so no problem getting a seat at all. The journey up to Magome was really enjoyable. It didn't take too long. I had a quick overview of the countryside, and this is where the bus stopped. So this is the absolute start of the walk.
I'll leave Joe's commentary there, but if you want to watch the rest of that video, you can log on to her YouTube channel called Travel and Create. I'll leave a description on the screen now. Here are some edited highlights that Joe took on her walk on the Nakasendo Trail. Joe said she didn't encounter any bears on the walk. I think that's less to do about the sounding of bells and more to do with the sheer number of people that were on the trail. Google Maps said that this walk should take about 2 hours, but it took Joe around about 4 hours. That includes about half an hour wandering around the first town of Magome. And that also included making 3 stops along the way. The first at a covered area, second at a tea house that served complimentary tea, and lastly getting an ice cream at a cafe.
It's 2:20. The next bus is after 3, hence this. So we got here a little while ago. My reward.
If you're enjoying this video, then hit that like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to be notified of all my future videos, hit that notify bell. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, then please consider supporting my channel by buying me a coffee. I'll hand you back to Jo to get her take on the logistics of getting back to Nagasagawa.
This is the bus stop. It is for Nagiso station and 15:24. There is a big gap between 10 to 2 and 3:30. At this point I see the map underneath showing a bus stop that doesn't look like this one, but also shows directions to get a taxi. And so I think, oh, am I at the right bus stop or not? With hindsight, I should have stayed at this bus stop, but did I do that? No, I didn't. I went off to find the other bus stop, which I thought would be the main bus stop. So I headed over there. I didn't want to wait another 50 minutes for the next bus. So I scanned the crowd, and there was a Japanese lady next to me that I'd seen on the trail, and then there was a younger couple on the other side, and I just said to them, I don't think we're going to get on this bus, and shall we get a taxi? And they both said, is that possible? And I said, yes, I know it is. So we wandered over to the man on the right wearing the hat, and I said to him, Sumimasen, taxi? Doko desu ka? Where is the taxi, please? We went over, we booked a taxi, and we just waited. Now, we watched the bus arrive, and we watched the bus fill up, and we watched not everyone get on it. So we definitely made the right move. Those that didn't make the bus wandered over to the taxi stand right after us, and they had to wait even longer than we did. We actually all eventually got to the train station about the same time as the bus, and the cost of the taxi between the 4 of us was just about the same as the bus. So don't stress. If you're in this situation, the taxi is always there as a backup. When we got to the train station, it was quite busy because the bus had arrived at the same time, but we all managed to get on the right train. I was going back to Nakasagawa and the train was really quite busy. I had to stand all the way. So that was a wonderful end to our trip, but it doesn't end there because we stayed in Nakasagawa one more night, and the next morning at breakfast, the Japanese lady that we caught the taxi with was having breakfast in our hotel as well. And so I went up to her with the sumimasen, and she's like, oh, wow. She turned round to my partner and said, she saved us yesterday. Oh, she was so sweet and so thankful that I had the courage to approach random strangers and suggest a solution to our predicament. So just a memorable end to what was a fantastic day walking the Nakasendo Trail.
So that's the story of how I didn't walk the Nakasendo Trail, but Jo did. This video is very much taken in Jo's eyes with her thoughts and experiences. So thanks, Jo, for letting me use all your valuable footage.
Thanks, Joe.
You can see Jo's unedited version of walking the Nakasendo Trail on her YouTube channel, Travel and Create. And until next time, from Japan, you take care and bye now.